Michelle, we have transferred our sharing capabilities to you. Michelle is calling in remotely from Sacramento. She's going to give an update on the map development that she's been working really hard on to get the inland water quality information up onto the portal. And hopefully we will be putting the water quality information on the same portal. Michelle, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see your screen. Take it away, Michelle. Thanks.
Okay, great. Let me just refresh this real quick. Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Tang. I work at the State Water Board with the SWAMP unit in the Office of Information Management and Analysis. And I'm just going to quickly present a project that I've been working on. It's not final yet. It's very much still in the development phases. And right now, we're just trying to develop kind of a proof of concept type of thing and trying to create very robust data linkages so that we can, create these type of applications in their final form. So this project is, I started developing it it was intended as an update to the long-term bacteria trends map that is currently on the Safe to Swim portal. And so it's the idea that it's an update to that map, and depending on what we can do, we can add more features and make it a more immersive and more interactive experience. So right now you see the state of California, and it's currently pulling in all of the monitoring sites from the CEDIN database, for which we have E. coli data, Enterococcus, total coliform, and fecal coliform data. And it's displaying those sites right now based on the last sample date that we were able to pull. So the color scheme that you see right now, all the blue sites, the last sample date was older than a year. Green, which you kind of see down here, is within the last year, and yellow, which you see kind of in the Santa Cruz area, within the last month. Just a kind of a note right here, what you see isn't entirely accurate just because we're working right now on getting the full data set through these API linkages that we're making. So what you see on this map, it doesn't include the full data set, and so that may be why a lot of these sites aren't showing up as yellow or green. So just keep that in mind, please. So the idea is that this map, when you scroll in and you click on a site, it will pull all of the CEDIN data once everything is final and show basically the data trends at that site. So I've went ahead and picked this site here in Santa Cruz, and based on this data set that I'm working with right now, I'm using for development, it's pulled what you can see, the Enterococcus data, and it's graphed it along with the statewide objective kind of values that Lark went over earlier. So you have the SCV value right here for Enterococcus, 110, and you also have the geomean right here, 30. Based on Lark's presentation, I may need to make some changes, but right now, because this is just a proof of concept, it's kind of very general, just trying to get the bones in right now. But the idea is that all of the blue dots represent the results that we're able to pull from CEDIN, and this application itself then takes those points and calculates the 6-week rolling geomean, and which you can see right here with the red points. And so it gives you kind of this visual tool to kind of compare it to those statewide objectives that were presented on earlier. And then you can switch the analyte here, so it graphs total coliform, fecal coliform, and if it has E. coli data, it would also show up here. And there are different interactive features. You can use this kind of timeline down here to look maybe at a specific date range that you're interested in. So it kind of, before you have the big picture overview, but now you can kind of zoom in and look at kind of a specific date range and see how it all matches up. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. It's really just kind of showing these long-term trends based on the seed-in data that we have right now. The goal is to kind of, hopefully we can add in data from other databases and also ensure that we have a really robust data connection, because right now, this is a pretty big data set that I'm working with, about 1.5 million records, and it will probably grow very quickly too. So right now I'm doing a lot of work on just ensuring that we get these strong data connections that are fast too. But I wanted to give an update just based on what I've been working on and how things are going, and also get any feedback if anybody in the work group has any comments. So yeah, that's all I have to present. Does anybody have any questions?
We have one question.
Sure.
I'm curious, is this website already accessible by the public?
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Is this website accessible by the public?
Currently, it is not accessible by the public. It's in development right now, and I did put out before, so I've presented this at other meetings, and I did put out a publicly accessible link, but right now it's not working just because before we make it any more public, we want to fix those data linkages that we're missing. So it's not public yet. Hopefully we can put out a draft soon.
We have another question. Thanks, Eric. Hey, what's the status? You said she mentioned this is tied to seed-in. What's the status of seed-in's timeliness for getting data available to a portal like this?
Yeah, that's a great question. I am not sure with the details, and I think it's probably very different depending on like the region and the program. But in general, I think for me, just working with kind of the data portal API, which is pulling that seed-in data, I'm seeing sample dates as recent as this month. It might not be showing, or within actually this past week, but it might not be showing now. Just due to kind of the draft phase of this. But I don't know. Does that answer your question, or?
Michelle?
Yeah.
Now, how frequently would once it's live, how frequently would it be refreshed?
Okay. Yeah. So right now, the data that this map is pulling from is coming from the Open Data Portal, data.ca.gov. So we have a script that pulls from seed-in, and which we run manually. And right now we're running it about monthly. That could change in the future, but right now it's monthly.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks. Do we have any other questions for Michelle? Okay, we're going to turn it over to Rafa for the next visualization presentation.
So the question about is this publicly available? Well, the data is publicly available. The only visualization is that once you have the tools, you can actually do it yourself. Yeah, I'm going to use this computer. I'm going to try to show you actually on the internet. Well, I'm working with Office of Information Management Analysis. We just got approved last week a resolution by the State Water Board on open data, which is really the intention is that all the data sets that we have at the Water Board, we're going to make them publicly available, with the caveat that in some cases we may need to protect some information because it's privileged information, but the intention is that all the data sets that we have at the Water Board will be made available to the public, making sure that there's some protocols for data sharing and there's the data quality, and then we also want to make sure that we are part of a data management strategy, which is not just the data set available to the public, but we need to start from the way we collect the information, the monitoring programs, the way we store it, and we do the quality control, the way we make the data available to the public, and then the way we analyze and communicate information. So what I want to do today is to show you what I've been able to do with the Beachwatch data. I've been working with Beachwatch since 2005, and even before that. And it's been very hard for me to actually communicate information. What does this mean, and how do we actually put it together? Last January, we finally were able to produce a flat file from Beachwatch that is a structured data that ideally we would be sharing this with the public, and that allow us to do a lot of the analysis that we've been trying to do, which is to answer four questions. The first question is how frequently are we monitoring beaches? What are the results of those monitoring? What are the posts and closures, basically the beach advisories, and how available the beaches are for the public to use? And I think I can answer those four questions today based on the Beachwatch data. So I'm going to go to, I'm using, the technology has changed so much in the last couple of years and allow us to do analysis of very large data sets very quickly. And I'm using Tableau. I can use Power BI and Michelle is using Shiny and other tools, but I'm using Tableau to actually to visualize the data. And I'm just going to go.
And Rafa, I'm not sure if you already mentioned this, but is this data set kind of a snapshot in time that you're going to be showing us, but eventually it will be kind of updated all the time?
Correct. So this is something we pulled in January, so the data for 2008 is not complete. But ideally it will be connected to the Beachwatch directly, and we should be able to produce information on a regular basis. So I do this for a living, so I have more than 178 visualizations that for all water portfolios, from inspection to permits to drinking water. But Beachwatch is actually very interesting for me. So the first thing I want to show you is the, I can find it. So this is how frequently I would monitor Here, in this case, what I have is a map of all the beaches in the state. And you can look at information by beach, by station. So when you click on a beach, for example, it will show you in the map next to it just the stations for that particular beach. And here I'm showing the monthly geometric mean for different total polyforms and the number of sampling events for that particular beach for each year by month. But if I click on a particular station, it will just give me the data for that individual station. And I can actually go and be even more detailed to show the data by month or by day. Beauty of it, I can actually click on this and select this period of time, and it will just it will grab that data particularly. The other feature that is very interesting in Tableau is that you can just go here and you can download the data. You just click here, and here's the data that I used to do visualization. This is the entire data set. This is what we like these tools because it's part of the open data strategy. It's not just here's a very nice graph. No, here's the data that I use for this visualization. And if you want to do it yourself, you can do your own analysis with the data. So it's not just the data and the information, it's also that you have the tools available to do it yourself. The other one I want to show you is something I put together yesterday. So I had some bacteria data, but what I was curious about is what can I do with this data set in a very short period of time. So well, let's just focus on posts and closures because it's a simple data set. I mean, tracking, advisories should be pretty straightforward. So, and I did this yesterday in less than an hour. Before it was completely unthinkable. So here's a map of all. Sorry, I had to go back and forth. But here these are all the beaches in Orange County. I can go and select all the beaches, and the map will be just spread. It will be a much larger map. Okay, or I can just filter by particular beach, by particular county. And then within the county, I can just focus on one particular beach. And when I go there, and I just hover over, it shows the number of advisories that they have and the number of days that the beach was actually closed or posted. That's a very quick way of looking at the data. But if you want to do analysis on trends, you can actually just look at the by beach. You can have the numbers in there. And again, you can go click on a particular beach, and you can just filter the information for that beach. There's a lot of things you can do with it. It's a lot of tools. You can produce a list of all the data. So if you want to work with the data yourself, question?
This is amazing, wonderful design. Can you do analysis between variables?
Yes. You can do correlations. You can do data integration, which means like I have a single skill data set, so I can correlate single skills with actually advisories, so I can see how what the impact does. So I can do relevant.
You can do water quality modeled against the.
I can do water quality.
Yeah, against illness rates, and we could actually model how many illnesses.
The only thing I want to show is like the beach evidence with lifeguards data and correlate each and beach closures. So this is what we call data integration. It's no longer one single database. So we bring in data from multiple sources and we bring it all together and try to make sense out of it. We just do it. And I did it just now. I mean, I think the technology is there now to provide this information. Now, I did another one here, and I said it by beach, by county, and you can really do your own filter because you can understand that a regional board just focus on the whole region. They don't want to, they're not interested in what's happening in the rest of the state. For me, to work with the state board, I want to do something that includes all the data. So here's more detail of that graph I showed before. And I think it's by quarter, but then you can even go farther and do it by day. Okay. So it's a lot of, ideally, my vision is I should be able to do a calendar where you have good days and bad days and you can actually show on that particular beach, this is the historical trend. On this day, on August 15, typically it's safe to swim in this beach because we don't have beach closures. Something similar to what Michelle has done is looking at the actual water quality and the bacteria. Sorry. To rearrange it, and use the computer. This one is very large. So basically, this is all the data we have in Beachwatch for water quality conditions. And here I actually calculated the measurement. But I can, in addition, I can actually filter by how many number of events I'm going to be using. Here's all the beaches in Orange County, in Laguna Beach, all the stations in Laguna Beach, in Orange County. And you can see the data since 1995, 1998. You can see how the lines are the geometric means and the dots are just the values, the analysis. And see how it was like when I saw this to the program, they say, what's happening here? It's like a before and after. Something happened here, immediately you can see it. It's like it was a different method of this. It's kind of consistent data set, but it seems like it was a different place. Well, you can do this now and find these anomalies in data just by looking at this way. And you can, the way this works, you can click on any of these stations, and it will just give you the data for that station. Okay? So it simplifies. So that station we are only monitoring for in SWRCB, and this is what the data looks like. It's a logarithmic scale. That was will be completely off the chart. You can change your time period. You can look at watch all the data to see what it looks like, and you can see the overall trends. As I said before, you can use here. You can just go and click and download the data, and you can just download the data yourself. But to the question, is this available to the public? Well, it is, but it's not. I mean, we don't have a link to it, but it is discoverable. I mean, we're using this internally. We're still testing the way we want to communicate information, so we are happy to receive comments and suggestions on how to improve, make it more meaningful and more useful.
There's so much information out there. How do you make it useful? So we have the tools. We need to work with Rafi and make sure that we get the right stuff on our website.
Thanks. We're big fans of the data visualization tool. I'm super excited to have this capability. The one thing we're looking at the trends there that reminded me of is our integrated report cycle. As you know, extraordinarily time intensive to try to get the data, particularly for something like beach data, analyzed and through the integrated report. Do you foresee an automated tool like this being able to be used, being relied on by the state board staff instead of having to go through Calwaka nightmare?
Yes, and I'm working on that. All the projects. Like trying to get, as I say, we have 178 visualizations already built up, and I'm working with the Calwaka data to our students.
Awesome. So Jeremy, that's a great question. Aaron Black. Oh, hold on. That's Lori. I just wanted to give an update kind of also since that's on the part of the agenda we're at. So currently I'm working to get the information for Beach Watch data that's existing, so 2013 to 2017, to make it compatible with CDIN, because the state board is working on the integrated report, which is why I think Lori was speaking of. Needs to be compatible so that we can use an R script that we have to use it for the lines of evidence. And then for the future, I'm working to make Beach Watch data be compatible as it's entered into Beach Watch so that that script can be used from CDIN data, and Beach Watch data is automatically uploaded to CDIN, so we're working on getting those columns of data available to make that easier. Was that Lori on the phone that was trying to make a comment?
This is Megan chiming in.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. It was breaking up a little bit.
This is Megan Brousseau with Waterkeeper.
Oh, hi, Megan. Thanks for chiming in.
Hi there.
We're running a little late, okay?
No worries. I'll just listen in.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so hopefully Jeremy.
Hey, this is Lori Weber. I was going to respond to the comment about trying to analyze bacteria data in Calwaka. It's kind of add on to what Karen said. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so Karen's right. What we're trying to do is what we plan to do is, reformat the Beachwatch data and, kind of a seeding format or seeding compatible format, and then use this, our automated tool called RELIP, which is an R-based program that, kind of will analyze the bacteria data and count up the number of exceedances based on the new objective. So it should be, we're looking at a much more automated process than formerly was used for bacteria data, using the Kalwaka approach. Does that answer your question? I'm not sure which region you were from, but does that answer the question?
Thanks, Lori. This is Jeremy from Region 9. That does answer my question, but I also want to make the point that the visualization, like Rafa showed, really helps show where, why maybe historical data should be superseded by the more recent analysis of the trends, especially after the Clean Beach Initiative and whatnot. We found that a lot of the beaches we could delist if it was easier to rely more on the obvious recent trends instead of the historical data. So it sounds like you guys are making a great step in the right direction, and maybe our staff will just have to kind of fine-tune and polish towards the end. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great, and definitely a kind of an interactive geographical interface, kind of what Rafa has or what Michelle showed. We'd like to get that up and running as well. And if you have any, more questions or comments or suggestions, just let me know.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Rafa.
Sure.